Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 54 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Last episode I did a little bit of cool work on this nifty contraption, which is going to be responsible for farming some type of monster for me. I haven't really revealed which one yet, but it might be a good guess if you guys had one to consider it's something related to the nether. Yeah, that's probably a good guess. So to get this thing working, there's several things we're going to need. We're going to need a portable tank. We are going to need RF power. Somehow these things are getting RF energy. Probably not from my wireless thing. I wouldn't think. You know what? Maybe... You know what? They probably got charged in my inventory from my wireless charger. But they're probably not being wirelessly charged from here. So that's probably going to make sense. Yeah, I bet that's why they have a charge in them right now. But if I turned them on at the moment or they did any actual functions, they would probably lose energy rather quickly. So this episode I'm going to work on a control mechanism for this to turn on and off both the spawner and the grinder. In fact, I probably won't ever turn off the grinder. I don't see any reason why I would want the grinder turned off, but we'll definitely need some energy to go to the grinder, and we're also going to need to get items and liquids out of it. So there's going to be a lot of different moving parts to this build. Then what I'm going to do is work on a scheme to get more mob essence, and that's going to be another task that we're going to have to look at. So there's many parts to get working on here. So let's get started. First things first, let's get ourselves some conduits, and then we're going to have to come up with a good way to transfer our energy over there. So I guess some enhanced energy conduits. Do I need that much, or will this 640 RF per tick? That should be plenty. RF power transfer. We're also going to want some item and fluid conduits, and while we're at it, we'll probably want some insulated redstone conduits. Did I ever teach this thing how to make redstone alloy? Probably not. Alright, let's do that real quick. That's just redstone and silicon. Maybe I'll teach it later. For now, we've got hopefully enough insulated redstone for this. I have to make a little bit more, I will. So let's see. Time to dig underground here. So I'm thinking this right here is where I'm going to want my lever to be. So let's actually snag a lever and just put them right there, ready to go, and get ready to make this thing work pretty well. So what we're going to have is, first off, a lever that connects all the way over to here. Now, we'll probably want to just run right to here, and this is going to be our auto spawner. So nice and easy. Right like so. This will give us an on-off switch so we can turn the auto spawner off. Just remember that you're going to want to grab your Yetto wrench and force the up connection to be in and out. Cool? So now we can apply this lever, and you'll notice that the idle timer is not moving anymore. Sweet. And with the lever off, it is running. Perfect. So that's your on-off switch. Nice and simple. The next thing we're going to need is power, and that's probably going to need to go into here. And you weren't supposed to get broken, but that's okay. The braking on the grinders is really fast. Not the end of the world if you break it. So we're going to basically need two power functions here. One here and one there. And that's the main reason I'm using Ender IO, because it's going to be especially useful to be able to have liquid power and everything else going into the same side of this auto spawner block. And like I said, we might expand this later on to spawn other things besides the monster I have in mind for now. So just keep that in the back of your brain. We might need to wind up doing something to pull the spawner thing in and out of here to choose different types of stuff. So for now, let's get some energy conduits and some fluid conduits. And what I'm probably going to want temporarily is a tank out here, whose job it will be to transfer their liquid into here. So this is just a temporary setup, but we'll have some fluid conduits. Now your job for fluids is to be insert. Okay, so you insert fluids. We're going to come over to here. This thing will be extracting fluids. So you will be in extract mode. Red color, always active. That should do. And then let's find our way out here. Now I'm not 100% sure if you can actually... We're going to have to test this in a minute here. Insert and extract from the bottom of this thing, but we're going to find out pretty darn soon. Cool. So we're going to make sure that this thing is set to in, out, always active. And then when we connect these up, what we should wind up with, and let's make sure that our spawner's not, well, it shouldn't run because there's no spawn egg in there, but you'll notice that the idle timer is running still. Let's flip that lever and force it to be off so that it doesn't accidentally get turned on at some point. We'll connect this up, and fluid in, out, always active. I might need to set this thing. Oh, that's interesting. I had to put it on extract mode. Weird. So that should not have gone into here, correct? It went into here. That looks good. Now, if I wanted to, just for fun, I don't think there's a priority system on these conduits. I'm going to have to check if the top tier fluid conduits have any kind of priority system. I'm not sure if they do. But anyway, for now, this will be sufficient. Yeah, this should totally work. And like I said, this tank being here is totally temporary. It's just for now. Okay? So now that we've got that part going, the last part we'll need is probably going to be energy related. And for that, we're going to tap into a tesseract. So let's get ourselves a couple more Enderium, and we'll be back when it's done crafting. Alright, so for accessing the items, I've got some stuff, and I've got a tesseract ready. Let's store most of the items in a barrel, because this mob is only going to really drop one type of item. And we're going to just run our item conduit out here, straight over to the barrel. Cool. We can configure this guy, extract, always active. This guy, insert, priority 0, and this guy, insert, priority 1. And I think that means that it'll go in here first and there second, just in case there's some extra items that spill over. You always kind of want to have an extra catch for items that might spill over, because you never know. Sometimes mods are adding other items that can drop and all kinds of other stuff. So just keep that in mind. Now, as for power, we're going to want to configure that pretty quickly. So let's find a good spot to call home for power. Let's say kind of the center of this area might be good, but I think I'm going to want some more things in here eventually. So maybe right here would be a good spot. We'll call this main power, check. Your job is to receive energy, and we're going to hook up our conduits like so. Awesome. And here. There we go. So now you've got power, and you've got power, and that should mean that we are pretty much done with this build. Let's just get ourselves a couple quality of life things, like conduit facades. I might even have a few, and I think you can repaint these things. Let's just make sure I'm not lying about that. And I'm going to use Tyrian. Nice. So this way things can just look a little bit better in there, right? We can hide all the blocks and covers and all that cool stuff that we made. We can just hide that under the floorboards. I think 2's enough to get us going. And it looks like it's about to get dark out. Done. Done. Check. Nice. Look at that. Boom. Close the door. Turn on and off the mob spawner. Let's go get a mob to put into our mob spawner so we can get this farm going. All we need is a safari net. We're going to want the reusable one, by the way, which costs that. Meet you in the nether after I sleep through the night. Alright, so if you guys haven't figured it out already, this is a blaze farm that I'm working on. So let's go get ourselves a blaze. Safari nets are about the easiest thing to use in the world. You find a monster that you want to capture, and you right-click him. And now he's inside the safari net. Ta-da! Oh, that gassed. You know what? I'm going to go after him, because I could use some more gas tiers, and he is just easy prey sitting right there. Yay, 3 gas tiers. Looting for the win. Alright, meet you guys back at our base. Let's see, can I... Yeah, I can. Nice. Alright, maybe I won't meet us back at our base. That was easy. Alright, so let's install this blaze and get him going. Now, any monster you want to spawn in this thing is going to need its own dedicated safari net, having it trapped in there, but let's see. So let's recap. This thing is currently disabled. We'll put the safari net in there. There's only one setting in here, spawn exact copy, yes or no. Yes, we'll spawn the exact same copy of the monster. So for example, if you're spawning villagers, they'll always have the same trades. If you say no, it'll create a new generic version. So if you have a villager, every time it spawns a new villager, it'll have a different trade. So if you find a villager that you really like his trades, capture him in the safari net, put on an auto spawner to spawn exact copy, yes, and you'll always get the same trades. The only downside to this, of course, is it'll use more essence and more energy for each spawning action. So just make sure you have a good amount of essence handy for that. Another thing this will do is it'll be the same color wool on a sheep, for example, as opposed to just random wool colors each time. So now that that is ready, the grinder is good to go. Let's go ahead and activate this thing. And we're going to close the door. And so what we should have is about a 5 or 10 second wait to get this thing spawning. And we should stand back to make sure that nothing spawns outside the room. Hey, there we go. What's up, Blaze? So the grinder is going to take care of the blaze for us. He should generate a blaze rod and some mob essence. Sweet. Some of that mob essence probably went in, and the first place that it should be sending items should be into the barrel. Oh, nope. Priority 1, I guess, is the higher priority. So let's switch that up. We're going to make this priority 1 and this priority 0. There we go. So now, first place items are going to go are into the barrel, and the second place items are going to go is into the chest. So Blaze dies. Blaze Rod makes its way into one of these two inventories. Nope, that's not what I wanted. There we go. And blaze rods, beautiful. So we'll keep them stocked in there, and this will get us a bunch of blaze rods. Now if we want to stop spawning, we just flip the lever, wait for anything that's currently in there to die, and then we can open the door and safely walk in and see what's going on. So you can see we've used up a good amount of mob essence. So it looks like it's about time to start working on a mob essence generator. Alright, so one thing I want to make real quick to help us with this is a spark. What? A spark? What does that have to do with anything that we're working on right now? Don't worry, there's always a reason. And I'm probably going to want a dominant spark augment, so we're going to want a Rune of Fire, Mana Steel, and Pixie Dust. Pixie Dust should be easy to get our hands on. Rune of Fire, I don't seem to have an extra one laying around. And Mana Steel, so let me get that crafted and we will be right back. Also, by the way, in case you guys didn't notice, I did upgrade my little mana pool down here set up so that this thing is one giant mana pool that's going to be working for us. Let's also dip into our bag, get our Wand of the Forest, and I'm going to have to craft off camera probably real quick. But let's toss this thing in there so that we can get ourselves the pixie dust we need, and then we can hit the button to close the portal. Cool. Back in a minute once I have a Rune of Fire. So there we go. Dominant Spark Augment. What I want to do with this is place it out here. So this thing should be able to connect, and if I make him dominant, he should start draining mana from all nearby mana pools. Nice. And you'll notice that he's quickly filling up. Cool. And you'll also notice that this thing's running because my lever's currently off. So we're starting to get items here again. I'm going to let this run for a little bit because I'm going to need something that I don't quite yet have. I've been looking for a while and I don't have it, so this guy is now in charge of making sure I get it. Man, I've gotten a lot of good stuff, just not what I'm looking for at the moment. So I actually made a second Lunium. You remember I probably had a few extra of those things in here, the runes and stuff that I needed for it, so I just used them real quick. I don't think they're used for much else besides the Lunium, so I figured, might as well use it. We'll double up the speed on this thing's production rate. Not bad, right? Might actually even want to. Let's break this thing and put him here. That might be better. Yeah. Alright, back in a minute as I continue to wait for epic loots. So you guys may recall that a few episodes back, I was exceedingly lucky with this Lunium flower. Well, that's coming back to bite me because I am now being extremely unlucky with the Loonie Empower. I just burned through so much mana that I don't even know what to say about it. I'm going to turn off the Loonieums for the time being and let my mana reserves recharge. You'll note that I did not get any items that I'm looking for. Curses. So I'm going to find an alternate method for this. What to do? Alright, I have an idea. Alright guys, looks like I'm going to have to do something I wasn't quite ready to do yet. I'm heading to the Nether, and I'm bringing this nifty little sword that I made early on in the series, called the Beheader. I need to get myself some wither skeleton heads. Which does not sound like a fun prospect to me. Luckily, the Beheader really helps with that point of things, so we're going to check out getting ourselves some wither skeleton heads. I'm going to need 3 of them for now, not much more, and we'll be back in a few minutes once I've collected them. Okie dokie, 3 wither skeleton skulls, that'll do. I cannot impress upon you guys strongly enough how useful it is to have a beheader like this when hunting for wither skeleton skulls. I literally killed like 5 wither skeletons and got 3 skulls off of them. It is amazing how much of a difference it makes. Alright, now that I've got that, we're going to need some soul sand, and you can probably guess what's in store for me. But before we go fighting any kind of crazy withers, let's prepare ourselves a little bit, shall we? Alright guys, I am crafting the following cool stuff. I'm going to need one of these, I'm going to need one of these, and I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a mana pearl. Get this thing cooking. This is a rune of mana. We'll be back in a minute when it's done crafting. Okie dokie, just got myself my mana thing. Let's get ourselves a Botanical Brewery. Sweet. This thing is cool. I'm going to pop him right there and see how well he works. And to go along with this, we're going to want a mana lens. We're going to need one of you. What am I going to need for a mana lens? Is it? I always forget if it's plains or... Yeah, 4 mana steel and 1 plane of glass. So let's get that crafted. I should rearrange things a little bit down there, but we'll get to it. Mana steel. Lens. 1, 2, 3. That'll do. Combine this with the abstruse platform. Gets us that. We can pop over here. And I'm going to pop the mana spreader on this side of the block. Your job will be to phantom mana lens. Let's say we're in bind mode. Shift click this guy. Shift click this guy. And then you should be in good shape. Cool. So he should be ready to do some botanical brewing. So there's a couple things I want to get. We're going to need some mana glass vials. Mana glass is luckily very easy to make. Mana in the mana infusion, mana glass. Let's get some glass. I should be able to access from here. I'm going to want a couple vials, so let's go with 2. Beautiful. And then I can craft myself a couple vials. Sweet. Now, there's a bunch of vials that you can make, and they basically, for the most part, work like potions from vanilla Minecraft, but they're cool in that, you know, they're a little bit easier to craft, and you can do it with mana, and that's fun. Plus, they'll have some other cool effects, too, like you can have 4 potions in 1 vial. So let's take a look. For example, Regeneration 2. That sounds like an awesome thing to have when fighting a wither. So let's make one. Netherwort, Ghast Tear, and Glowstone. So, Netherwort, Ghast Tear, and Glowstone. Cool. You guys all get placed on the Botanical Brewery. 1. Is it dropped on? Alright, I could have sworn it was right-clicked on. Maybe I have to put that down first? Yeah, I do. Sweet. And then maybe hit it with this thing? Or it just figures it out on its own? Looks like it's figuring it out on its own. Because particle effects typically is an indication that things are working correctly. So, unfortunately, I think in the current version of Botania, there's no little timer thing like there is on the Runic Altar, but I think that's been added in newer versions. So, let's give this a minute, and he should pop off in any second, and if not, we'll come back when it's ready. Come on, give me regen 2 potion, please. There we go. It just completed and gave me the vitalization potion. Sweet. Alright guys, making another potion here. Netherwort, iron, and leather. Be right back. Now I'm doing netherwort, a golden apple, and a potato. And for my final trick, netherwort, blaze powder, and glowstone dust. And I think that'll do it. So I just made myself 4 potions. Strength, which I'm not sure if strength affects bows or not, but I'm hoping. Shielding, which is going to give me some extra health. Fortitude, which will give me some resistance, and regeneration, which should regenerate my health. Now remember, I can use each of these potions 4 times, so that's a good thing. I'm debating if I want to have 1 more vial, something like instant health or something like that. Instant health 2 is a glistening melon and a potato. Do I have watermelons yet? I don't know. If I don't, I'm going to try this without. I do not appear to have watermelons. Ah, I do. I have a few of them. Let's go ahead and get ourselves 1 glistening melon. This way, just in case things get really bad. What else did I need for instant health? 2 netherwort and a potato. So I'll get those made off camera. Potato and wart. And then there's one more thing I'm going to want to get. How am I for heart canisters? I've got 9 of these things. That's pretty darn good, actually. I'm going to want to check out what I can use them for. I need necrotic bones. How many of those do I have? I've got 2. All right, so not quite as many as I would have hoped, but it'll at least get me started. I'm also going to need some empty canisters, which require aluminum or tin. I didn't know you could do this with tin. Okay. I don't know if I have any aluminum handy, but I can apparently make this with tin now, so I'll do that. So I'm going to get 2 of these guys, and I'm also going to request 2 jeweled apples, which are kind of nice to have. I might even bring with me to snack on. Delicious diamonds. And we're going to craft this. 2 heart canisters. I'm going to need more necrotic bones in order for this thing to work, but if I place these heart canisters right up here, you'll notice that I've just given myself 2 extra hearts. Keep an eye on my heart bar after I get out of bed here, and what you'll find is the following. So you'll notice that on my health bar, I've now got 2 orange hearts. Sweet. Alright, and with that, I think I'm pretty much ready to go. Sweet. So I've got all these cool potions. I've got health, I've got weapons, I've got armor, I've got all kinds of stuff. Let's go fight a wither. I'm going to want to fight this guy pretty far away from my main base, because I really don't want there to be any chance of him destroying anything that I hold near and dear to my heart. So let's run off in this direction here and just find a place to call our wither battle spot for now. At some point later in the series, we might be fighting a lot more withers, and we might build a whole, automatic wither killing machine. But for now, this is in good shape. It's not too far away, so that if I die, I can't get back to my stuff, but we'll see what happens. So let's prepare for shenanigans. Wither battle time? Yes, sir. Alright, so that's going to get me started. So let's just make sure our potions are ready. We're going to want our flux-infused bow here and ready. The jeweled apple, I think, will give me some good buffs, but let's see. Revitalization, that gives me regen 2. I'll drink that right when I spawn him because it only lasts for 25 seconds. Strength will last for a little bit. There we go. Absorption will last for a little bit. Notice how I have all these extra hearts now. That's cool. Fortitude will give me resistance buff. Sweet. And instant health. So let's put these guys away. I probably won't need any more of those. This I'll drink right away, and this I can pop to if I need immediate health. That sounds cool. Yeah. So, you guys ready for this? Let's do it. Cross your fingers. Wither is spawning. Revitalization. Come on, Wither. Oh yeah, that's right. Legitimate wither kill. Booyah. Nice. So I'm definitely hurting a little bit, but I took him down rather well, courtesy of potions and whatnot. I actually didn't do bad at all, thanks to my regen and strength and absorption stuff. I was getting a little nervous there at the end. I know arrows don't work once he's beyond half health, so that's why I had to switch to my sword, but I took him down, and I'm very happy about that. Let's put some of this junk away for the time being so I can make sure I didn't miss anything. So all this junk that's in my inventory at the moment I don't need. I got a miniature yellow heart, which is a really nice thing to have. That'll give me more heart canisters, but not until I get more necrotic bones. I think otherwise, I mean, he definitely beat up the terrain a little bit, but that's okay. Sweet. So I got the item I wanted, a division sigil, and I also got a nether star. Cool. Alright, let's head back to the base. Alright guys, so we got a division sigil. This thing is going to be very useful for us because there's a few things we can do with it. It's going to allow us to make unstable ingots, among other things. However, there's a ritual that we need to perform to activate it before we can actually start using it for stuff. That ritual will also get us something that's very useful and is going to significantly help us in the process of creating awesome amounts of mob essence. We're going to find ourselves in the presence of a subjective item called Cursed Earth. Cursed Earth makes for the best mob farms this side of modded Minecraft. But we're going to want a shovel or an excavator even before we can actually snag that thing. So let's actually make a new excavator real fast, and then next episode we're going to wind up going with a division sigil. So let's see. Do I have an excavator, and it's currently just a normal old excavator. I kind of want another one, so let's get that ready real quick. I can go toss these guys in here to get my excavator head. And then to make an excavator, what else do I need? Probably a plate, yeah, and then the large tool rod stuff. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. I'll probably go with obsidian for the one thing. And yeah. Let's just do probably just wood. Should be fine. And I'm going to want probably a bit more iron. You know what? I'll do iron for the handle too, because why not? If I'm melting down 8 more iron for the head, might as well do it for the handle. So while that's happening, let's get ourselves the tough tool binding, and we're also going to want the plate cast and tough rod cast ready to go. This guy can be made of obsidian, that's fine with me. How's the melting going? Progressing. Let's pour this into here. And I'm going to want to get something that will allow me to have, let's see. We want Silk Touch, and there it is, Silky Jewel. Going to require some of this stuff. So we're going to need gold nuggets. That doesn't seem too hard, actually. So let's do that. Silky Jewel. You can either use gold nuggets or aluminum brass nuggets. Gold, obviously, easier to come by, so let's do that. And then we can do this, and nice. We've got and used our last emerald. Awesome. But that's okay. It doesn't matter because this is going to be super useful for us. So we'll start this thing cooking, get our broad axe head. We will get our large plate cast. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure I want to wait for the iron, so maybe I'll just get a wooden handle. So let's get our tough tool rod. Wood should be fine for a handle. Yeah, why not? Well, yeah, 1x modifier, doesn't matter. I'm not going to be using this thing all that often, so it really is not important what I make everything out of here. So let's make our excavator, which you guys are well familiar with by this point, right? Excavators are cool. And then the first thing I want to do is upgrade him with a Silky Jewel. And I'm probably going to want a decent amount of redstone to get on this thing because I really want this thing to mine fast. So let's get like that much redstone, and we'll combine this into some blocks of redstone, and that should be sufficient to get several upgrades on this thing to make it fast. And you guys will understand next episode why I might want it to be fast when I do this. So, the iron excavator, now with silk touch, boom. Nice. I like it. So we've got silk touch on our excavator. It harvests very quickly. And with that, I think it's a good wrapping up point for the episode. So we'll come back next episode. We'll activate the division sigil. We'll get ourselves some cursed earth. We'll get ourselves a mob essence farm. And then we'll have a bunch of access to blaze rods, which I can then use for all kinds of nefarious purposes. Then we've got plenty more things to work on. Real quick before we wrap up, should we go refresh coordinates on this thing? He's definitely stuck somewhere, it looks like, because he's unable to move forward. The fact that the forward light is on and I haven't told him to move forward in a while is definitely not a good sign. Let's go see. I might need to adjust where sea level is. Yeah, see, he ran into... I've had him running for a little bit, and it looks like he ran into some leaves. Neat. Kind of cool that he's just sitting there trying to run still. So I think what I'll do is just chop down these trees. I should have an axe somewhere in here. And yeah, they're rubberwood trees, but I don't mind chopping them down. I've got plenty of rubberwood at this point. There we go. Should probably just get all these trees out of its way. And it's getting close to wrapping up point because it's nighttime. So for now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next time. Lots more cool stuff to work on, as I'm sure you can guess. And we'll see you then. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.